You are listening to the Mission Matters Podcast Network, where we amplify the stories of entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. You are listening to the Mission Matters Podcast Network, where we amplify the stories of entrepreneurs, executives, and experts.
Welcome to the Mission Matters Podcast Network. My name is Jonathan Schroyer. I'm the Chief CX Innovation Officer for Arise Virtual Solutions. And as always, you guys know that I am the channel host for the Future of Service. And so I have the great privilege to bring many different leaders that serve customers in many different ways, onto the podcast and to get their perspectives. And so today, it's super exciting. It's one of our first kind of financial focused guests that we have, an entrepreneur. His name is Ajaie Albert. He was in the military for a number of years. He's been an entrepreneur for 6-7 years. Ajaie, welcome to the show, and thanks for spending some time with us. Feel free to introduce yourself some more.
Hey, how are you doing? It is a pleasure. I thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm doing better than amazing and so glad to be here. I'm Ajaie Albert. I'm the CEO of Exclusive Financial Class, and I actually work as the communications director for Lotto In Crowd. And Lotto In Crowd is a new industry where we're doing proprietary algorithms and pool play. And we're taking the future of the lottery game online because we know the future of gaming is pretty much going online everywhere. So we're producing a way for lottery winners to actually play online. And I am the lead educator for the financial services in that program. Me and my company will actually provide lottery winners a financial literacy and investments to actually move the needle for them financially.
Well, I think that's great, too, before we jump into the podcast, because oftentimes you have this huge disbursement of cash and you're used to living a certain way maybe before that disbursement. And then you get the disbursement and all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, what do I do? You know what I do? Some lottery winners probably go and just spend it all. Some maybe tuck it away and do nothing with it, hide it under the bed, and maybe some, do it in the middle there. So that's pretty cool that you guys are doing that to help out lottery winners.
Yeah, the common knowledge is the most lottery winners end up filing bankruptcy 4 to 5 years after they win this large windfall of money because they have no idea how to live with all of that money. They make impulse buys. They don't calculate what taxes is going to do to them. It's a whole mess. And we're trying to, obviously, it's a fun game people love to play. So why not make it easier for people to actually keep the money that they win?
No, I think that's great. That's great. Well, first question that I ask my guests is, what do you think the future of service is, the future of servicing your customers, whether it's, part of Exclusive Financial Class or whether it's with Lotto? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, so the future of services, obviously with the pandemic that actually passed, a lot of people have figured out that you have to do something else financially. Right. So creating multiple streams of income is the future of what we need to do financially in everybody's home. And by providing that financial education and expert implementation, we can change people's financial futures so they can actually do and play the game they love to play. And when they win these large windfalls of money, they don't go broke behind it a few years later.
I really love how you're talking about the diversification of revenue. I've been in kind of an executive for a number of years. Now, one of the things that I've noticed after the past couple of years is like, how do I create alternate revenue streams beyond kind of the main job? And in some cases, passive income, right? It's nice because it's taxed differently. But I think that's really cool that when you think about the future of service, you think about the future of finance too. It kind of dovetails well together. When you think about what are some key things that people need to do to make that future happen? What are some things that are kind of on your mind that you want to share with us?
Well, the first thing, we all have to do this. We have to understand this. It's not your wife. It's not your traveling. It's not your expenses that is taking your finances away from you. It's taxes. Taxes are your biggest expense. So if you learn how to mitigate taxes, and keep that money, then it prevents you from creating debt. So, like you said, there's a family of people that are out to get your money from day one, from the day you were born. So, and they're robbing you with black and white. So if we can prevent everybody that's robbing you with black and white, and you get to keep that money, then we can show you how to take that money. We call it cash, asset, cash flow. Take a little cash, buy, build, or grow an asset that's going to bring you more cash flow.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, recently, a couple of things that I've started on this is I'm not as advanced as you, obviously, but a couple of things I've started is a couple of properties that I've turned into rental units, which are kind of passive income. Obviously, I've got annuity revenue coming in from certain stocks. And then I've also done some additional investments where you can obviously take lines of credit off of your portfolio. Well, it'd be tough to do now because interest rates are so high. Yes. But that when the interest rate's more favorable, taking lines of credits against the portfolio to then reinvest the portfolio in other areas that are higher growth than the line of credit interest rates and so forth. So yeah, super interesting topic, man.
Yeah, very interesting. And so since you brought up real estate, so a lot of people don't really consider certain things that they can do now. If you're renting, you can afford to buy because a owner is charging you more than what they're paying for their mortgage. You have to understand, you're renting to make somebody else money. Right. So if you take that understanding and say, OK, let me go buy something. Let's just tell you a small strategy like go buy a triplex. Get an FHA loan, live in one side, rent out the other two. Mm-hmm. Now you have a place you're living that your renters are paying your mortgage and your utilities and putting money in your pocket. Then like you said, you can rinse and repeat that a few times over until you build capital to actually go buy your future home or whatever homes you want to live in.
Yeah. Well, I also think that a lot of people don't realize the amount of, tax benefits you have for owning a home, versus,
absolutely.
So there's a huge amount of tax benefits, especially if you're renting, because there's a lot of write-offs there as well. So that's a super interesting topic. So when you think about two other kind of key insights that you'd love to share, with the audience to help them or to perhaps re-engage with you a little bit later, what are some of those insights that you'd like to share?
Well, all right. So just like you said, everyone has when I say you should mitigate your taxes, I always tell people this. Paris Hilton became wealthy because her dad needed tax deductions. Right. So he took a business, you take a home-based business and actually pair it with your W-2, which now opens up 475 tax deductions. So all the things you're currently paying for now become tax deductible. Now you can put that back and now you have revenue to eliminate that debt and become an investor, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to learn how to move that money. We call it income shifting. You have to shift it back from the people who are taking it from you so you can shift it into an investment for yourself. And we only get paid three ways: a W-2, 1099, and capital gains. And they're all in different tax brackets, right? Mm-hmm. If you're making a W-2, you're taxed at 28 to 33%. These are just averages. But if you're 1099, you're 18 to 23%, but all the way down to zero if you understand how the tax mitigations work. And then capital gains is taxed the least. So that's where your money is making money. So you definitely want to understand those strategies. And like you said, cash, asset, cash flow. If you're not taking a little cash, buying an asset that's going to make you more cash, you're not even on the road to wealth.
I love it. Those are great insights.
Yeah. So I am the CEO of Exclusive Financial Class. I'm based out of Clarksville, Tennessee. You can Google Exclusive Financial Class, LLC, but the exclusive has no E. So it's just XCLU.
Very cool. Yeah. I mean, I think this is a really powerful topic. So a lot of times, when you're in your 20s and even to some extent in your 30s, you're not paying as much attention to your finances as you ought to. And so I think, anybody in any class of finance should reach out and chat with you. But I think, listeners of this that might be in their 20s and 30s and thinking, well, do I need to do that? Do I need to do this? What should I do? It sounds like you've got a great asset here with Ajaie Albert to reach out to him. So Ajaie, what's the best way for folks to reach out to you outside of Googling Exclusive? Are you on LinkedIn or Twitter or other places?
Yes. I'm on every platform: YouTube, Google, YouTube, Google, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all of it. If y'all going to play the lotto, I say play responsibly. And I want y'all to look at Lotto in Crowd. That's Lotto, the letter N, crowd.com.
I love it. I love it. You guys might hear first, the future of service is in finance. And there's a huge amount of, kind of feedback, assets, and recommendations that Ajaie gave us today. So really happy. Thanks for coming on the show today, Ajaie.
Thank you.
So folks, this is Jonathan Schroyer, Mission Matters Podcast Network. I'm the host of The Future of Service. I'm the Chief CX Innovation Officer at Arise Virtual Solutions. Until next time, serve well.
This has been a Mission Matters Network production. Listen to this show and browse our entire catalog by visiting missionmatters.com.